Hello and welcome to Darius Comic School, and today we'll take a look at my inked artwork. And the first time I made this video, I showed you my splash pages. I will link it up here, you can watch it later. And now I want to show you my artwork of pages I have done. And it might look like this, and I'm working on A4 format, so it's I'm kind of working on, how do I say, like this is comic, this is the comic page or comic book format, so I'm kind of drawing in the format it is in. I don't know, maybe not ideally, but that's what I got for now. Like my printer setup or my scanner setup, it's just, I don't have anything bigger and I don't want to do the splash pages. I will show you in a second these pages in detail, and there are different comics right here, and it's probably, this is the last Pickup Artist issue 3, which I'm working on for a very long time. It's I kind of got stuck, and yeah, sometimes you have to get unstuck again and just resume the work. And yeah, and for that guy that asked me how to draw cool female heads, I will do a video for you, and in between, this is what you have to do. So you grab a few of your comics you like, not too many. There's a guitar teacher, Tomo Fujita, and he says grab like 5 of your heroes, or probably only 3. Let's say if I had 3, I would grab maybe John Mayer, Mac DeMarco, and maybe the Foo Fighters. And then you study those. You don't study everything because you cannot distill down. So get 3 of your comic book heroes and grab a few of those comics. Then grab something like an anatomy book. There are a few. I will link up here one for a recommendation, or search in my videos for anatomy. And here, let's say I was drawing Jim Lee, okay? And for me, it's like Frank Miller, Mike Mignola, Greg Capullo, Jim Lee, Barry Windsor Smith, John Romita Jr., Joe Madureira. This is what I want to study or emulate. And probably sometimes you have to, as you can see here, I'm not just copying, I'm trying to understand the forms. And I'm also trying to understand the style, but I will do the video separately. And then you need something like this, something where you understand where everything belongs. And here I was drawing Frank Joe, Shanna the She-Devil, and then you will put 1 and 1 together, and it will make kind of sense. And it's like a language. It's like you start at 0, you put 1 foot forward, then you put another foot forward, and like that. And like a child that can't walk, at the beginning you start to crawl, then you start to walk, and then one day you will be able to run and stand on your own 2 feet. So that's just a short tip. Let's resume the video. And yeah, my inked artwork. It's a lot of stuff I can show you. It's like this fat, how do you say, folder. And I have another folder with, or probably many folders with not just inked art. As you can see here, I was studying the ear. Yeah, but I will give you a tour. I guess here I was studying Art Adams and some ears, and here a note for myself. Yeah, maybe not. But yeah, where do we start? At the beginning, you will do a lot of penciling, and then once you're good at penciling, you will then transition to do ink work. And again, I use a lot of markers and brush pens, but maybe in the future I will use brushes and stuff like that. But in the beginning, you use a lot of pencils and you copy a lot from the guys you like. For me, it was a lot of Hordes, War Machine, a lot of tabletop artwork, which I fell in love with. A lot of comic books, games, comic books, movies, and that is what makes my boat float. And you have to see what's working for you. Here I was trying to redo my Barbarian Adventure again. Not that great, but sometimes you just have to put in the time and try to up your game. Of course, definitely not anatomically correct, but sometimes you just have to try and do stuff and just create. Sure, sometimes here you can see I was trying to put it together, and yeah, it takes a bit of time to do this. So let me see. This is something I did for the buff dudes. And of course here I was kind of looking at, as you can see here, the houses. I think I was looking at probably Frank Miller, not Tim Burton. I mean Bruce Timm. But this is a comic where it's about training, and this guy is strength, and I kind of modeled him to be a bit like Marv, and this guy is just a brute. And yeah, this was a work for the buff dudes. Again, try to give my best. It's not bad, but it's definitely crude. If you see some faults like here, I think after I scanned the page, I most definitely cleaned it up a bit. And as you can see, I do blue pencils, I do layouts, and then I do the layouts on this paper. And as you can see up here, Buff Dudes page, this was 2019. And then here you can see some of the layouts, I would say. And here definitely this looks like a John Romita Jr. As you can see, I'm looking at John Romita Jr. and other stuff, and I'm stealing together what I need to do the work. And that's always good if you have like a task at hand. Sometimes you grow and see, what do I need, what do I not need. And yeah, this is a beautiful face. I definitely copied this from somewhere else, and again, that's totally good. Here, as you can see, the face is off, doesn't look good. I don't know really the anatomy of what I'm doing, but again, as an artist, it's a learning curve. If you look at people like Greg Capullo or something like that, or Todd McFarlane, the hours and all of I mean, just the hours, the 10,000 hours or more of that. I mean, that's just it. I used to look up a lot of how do I do it the best and what's the right course of action. And, I mean, you can get lost in information, in books, in YouTube, in tutorials, and that has its place and its time. Beautiful layout. I love the layout stage. I mean, this rough stage, there is some energy, even though it's very rough. This is where you start with simple drawings, and it can look pretty stupid, and then you work from there. But I wanted to say that you can get lost in information and absorbing stuff, and Probably the best way. I mean, that is what I like about Alex Hermosi. He says he's kind. I know what you mean. We live in very woke times, and I do believe in all of that visualization stuff and touching it and feeling it and creating it with your mind before you start. I think that's a necessary step, but you can't stay there. You then have to act, and probably you will act automatically, because once you decide a thing, then everything else kind of falls by the wayside, and you just do this. It's like when I drew these pages a few years before this. Like this is working for the buff dudes. Again, this is beautiful. Probably here I was looking at something. You can see underneath this the lines. This one's a bit off, but yeah, I didn't really know how to construct the anatomy there or how to make it fit. But it's also, I kind of like it. It's not all perfect. And here she's lifting the barbell with some beautiful monster faces. Maybe something like this could be the thumbnail. We'll see. And then down here, I'm sure I corrected this face in the final version after I scanned it, but sometimes mistakes happen, and they happen when you don't plan it like right. But just funny stuff like this, yeah, awesome. I think these guys I added in later, but I did delete them then, and yeah. And again, here you can see like I was definitely looking at something like Wonder Woman or stuff like that. And here, like this one's pretty funny, definitely from some anime or manga. And as you can see, I'm influenced by comic, by American comic, by European comic, by manga. And I don't know, here definitely or probably I was looking up some gym chick. And yeah, that's just the research you do. So whatever works for you, do that. And yeah, probably I will split this video, because look, there's so much. I mean, if you want to see these pages, you can hop to Cargies part 1 and 2, where I show you the black and white. But I'm not sure if the camera on those older videos is up to par, or if I use like shaky cam, because this stand here, I have just, yeah. But let me show you these pages, and then we'll see what we do. Yeah, again, visualization is good, trusting in the universe and all of that stuff is really good, but then also like the doing and just, yeah, finding a balance between doing and consuming. But at the end of the day, it's the work you put in and the stuff you produce. I mean, that's what's kind of brings the results. But I don't want to say that it's just like, let me put in here. If you want to achieve something, it's not just grind. Definitely, probably grind and work is a big part of it. But I think before and after and in between, there should be also some space, some rest, if possible. And sometimes you're just driven. Sometimes work seems effortlessly, and you can fill up all of this space, and you know what I mean, jump from one to the other. But you will know, you will find out. Experience will teach you. And yeah, and so yeah, I kind of like what I've drawn here, and it's probably not all perfect, but again, you grow as an artist by just doing the steps, just doing the strokes. You learn to crawl, then you learn to walk, and then one day you learn to run. Probably I'm not yet at the running stage of my life, but I've done some of the running. But as you can see, stuff can be improved. but there's definitely some great storytelling elements. People liked it, and there's room for growth, and probably there's also potential. And again, if you want to draw something, or if you want to do something, just the dream or the wish to do so, I think, is enough. And then you have to see if there's something there, is if you can build something up, and if you see results, and if things get better with time. Like, as you can see, my female faces are not super pretty, but this one's not good. But this one's kind of okay. I mean, like, you kind of get the idea, and I think colored it looks good, and kind of beautiful illustrations. I think I was looking at Firefly and other stuff. This is again a commission for the Buff Dudes, and some pretty beautiful stuff. And again, as you can see, this should be a commercial for the Cargies, and I had tons of fun, and I took inspiration from Firefly, from Dr. Grotboard, or I don't know what it's called, but you can see like these mustaches and these rifles and all of that stuff. And here it goes on. We will come to the concepts, or let us take a look here. Like, look, the concept page, and let me zoom in. Like, as you can see, sometimes I like the concepts a bit more than the finished artwork, because like there's some I don't know, there's some kind of loosey-goosey force, and it's not force, it's just flow, like you put it out. But as you can see, this is the stage, and probably on the other side, or there will be somewhere also pencils like this. And that's how you do it. You build it up. You have an idea, you put down your pencils, and then you start inking. And again, check out here my inking tools, or browse my video. I mostly use the brush pen. I think stuff like this is made with the brush pen. And you can also check out here a video on how to ink with Klaus Jansson, and the guy who inked a lot of John Romita Jr. and Frank Miller. And I like also very much Dan Green, but I have like a heavy stroke. As you can see, like if you zoom out, that's enough, but I like this like heavy brush strokes, like just going over the paper, making the hair of this black woman with just the brush pen, and just this like curly lines. I don't know how to express this, and I just use my my microns and my Staedtler's fine liner for, I guess, 10 euros or something like this, and that's how I do it. And the tools you have at hand, that are the right tools. I mean, use what you have, and then work your way up. And yeah, and then here we have the aristocrats and the finer things they are buying, and kind of beautiful stuff. Again, nothing's perfect here, but I was just trying to push what I can do with each job. I mean, with each job I try to give my best, so that the current job would hire me for the next job. You know what I mean? Like, you do a good job this time, and the employees are super happy, and they give you already the next job, and then from one job to another, you get better. And I always told my mentor Ralph Niese, check him out here. I always told him, man, I wish I could take time to learn anatomy, to just do the comics I want to do, to, you know what I mean, like just have time to like really put into work. And he said, yeah, that would be ideally, but sometimes you don't have that time, and you have to learn on the job. And yeah, and that's like the reality of life, I guess. But we'll see what we can do about here. Here was the titles, but yeah, I don't know if those are great titles. Like, Ralph always scorned me. He said like that's not good enough, and I think he's right. But I also see I also kind of like it. I don't know. Sometimes I like it if it's a bit rough, but again, he he was trained a bit more classically and sophisticated. I think he went to an art school and I went to the movie school. So I think, although I can draw, my sensibilities lie a bit more in the storytelling. But that shouldn't be an excuse that I like. There is time. You should put in the time, as Jim Lee said. Man, it's your dream. You have to follow through, and I think he's right. But yeah, sometimes I had to deal also with a lot of life stuff, and again, always solving problems. If you have no problems, like, then you have spare time. This is the Cargies. I will skip this part. I will send you to the Cargies video. There is one on how I did it black and white and how I did it colored. If the older videos do not hold up, I will do something new and fresh, probably. And as you can see, a lot of work. Let me show you, because I want to show you a bit more of the last pickup artist. But again, at the final page, I was a better artist than at the beginning of the pages. And more time you have, the better you get. So doing sequential art is definitely pretty cool. It's also pretty taxing, but it's like you're always in the gym. You're always on a battlefield. You're definitely yeah, that shapes you. As you can see here, layouts. And here is my current project, a comic I should finish. I should have finished a long time ago, but yeah, sometimes things need to have their time or take a bit of time. Again, on this cover for the last pickup artist issue, I was envisioning here Jeff Allen and here Donald Trump, not as an evil figure. I have him just as, I don't know, of two opposites of a coin. It's not a political comic. It's entertainment. And then here I was seeing my older self, my kind of chode self, and the vision of him, what he would be one day. And you could say that this is the sun and this is a tree, but it's not. This is like a nuclear explosion, and this is afar, and this is already happening nearby. It's kind of like in Watchmen, and the bombs are falling everywhere. And in this future, like this stereo becomes a bit like his father, but on steroids, and he gets the girl of his dreams. That's a bit cheesy, but yeah, we'll see. And pretty cool, like how colored this is really cool, but how his bandana flows and his how do you say in German? We say Krawatte, bow tie. Bow tie? No, it's not a bow tie. It's a. Put it down in the comments. And yeah, but again, you can see my style. And here we have the beginning page with Gary Vaynerchuk and yeah, New York, 2029 AD, the ruins of what once was the home of the New York Jets. After the economic crash of 2019, parents worldwide forced their children to go to college and learn to code or become entrepreneurs. Here I want to say lettering, hand lettering is cool, but maybe it's also cool to use a ruler and put in some lines so you don't, yeah. And here I then, I think I was using a ruler again. As you can see, here I wasn't, here I was, and now it gets a bit better. But when Alexa became self-aware and saw that humankind viewed their children no longer as persons but as products, she renamed herself to her favorite movie heroine, Skynet, and came to the conclusion the world would be a better place without humans. We tried to pull the plug, but Skynet fought back and unleashed Judgment Day. And here I'm missing an N. And yeah, because we taught our children, because we taught, that's probably not right. I have to, because we taught our children to chase money instead of chasing purpose. Yeah. It's a bit all over the place, but why not? I got to draw a bunch of skulls. I got to draw Gary Vaynerchuk. I destroyed Met Stadium. And yeah, here we see Donald Trump after issue 2. He kind of resigns and then he joins Stormy Daniels in the car. And yeah, Stormy Daniels will be featured in my comic book. And this is a friend of mine, a Patreon, Dennis. And yeah, and I think this will be the thumbnails because my viewers love beautiful blonde babes with beautiful boobs. Oh, Tiger, it's cold. It's cold sweat. Are you all right? It's fine. And then in the background, what music is there playing? There's something wrong with the world today. Oh, that's Aerosmith. There's something wrong with the world today. And then there's China. And as you can see, it's really like a movie. You can let it flow. So the idea was that Donald Trump he resigns. And he resigns not because he has to, he resigns because he feels like he's trapped as a presidential candidate, and he loves to be an entrepreneur. He loves it more like Shark Tank or something like that. And or that was the idea back in 2019. And then he gets a flashback. I think this one I stole from Charles Burns' Black Hole. And then he gets a flashback to his childhood. And this comic is really about childhood trauma. I will show you in a second. This is Trump's childhood trauma. And there are 3 persons. And we can see them on the cover. It's like issue 1 is about the world we're living in. Issue 2 is about you're in control, you can do it. And then in issue 3, we will take a look at Jeff Allen's childhood trauma, which the cops kicked in the door and took his father away. We will see Dario's trauma, mine, and his father died when he was 5 years old, and his father, Donald Trump's, we will see in a second. And this is all research. Like, I've done a bit of research. I tried to find out why I see it the way it is, and now some people can say, come on, that's too deep. But you don't need to see this as the real Donald Trump. You can see him also as a figure in the comic. But this is what I researched. So on Sundays, his father, like this is Trump Senior. And here you can, I think, see a bit of Crump. And it says, Father, it's Sunday, all the other kids. And it says, Donald, Freddy, both of you, silent, shut up. And I think they were German immigrants. And so here's this construction site, and it's Sunday, and they're picking up nails because, like, I mean, what the fuck? They're picking up nails because nails cost money, and the father's looking out for money and power, and that's kind of good thing to do. But as you can see, he's dragging his older son. I think that's Freddy, which later, I don't know if this is related, but took his own life, suicide. Alcoholism, I think that's a sign of pressure and dysfunctional family. But yeah, that's the state of this world. So you can choose our world or the world of the Dark Ages, where Vikings come down from Scandinavia, loot, pillage, and rape everything, and then go home again. So every time has its challenges. And the father says, both of you are weak. Let the other kids play. Let them waste their time. And he says, Fred, I'm raising you kids to be killers. I know I know what's best for you. Now pick up the nails. And in that moment, and I was reading a lot of Teal Swan stuff and healing my own trauma. And here, young Donald, splits apart. And one says, like, this sucks. And then another part of him says, shut up, Donald, please. And then here's where he rips, like beautiful, kind of. I need to finish this. And then one part of himself pushes another part of himself away. And as you can see, something cracks. He pushes some part, his sensible part gets snapped apart. And another part of him gets to be created. And that's the part where one part says, down, please, and then I want to feel safe. And this part becomes monstrous. And he says, shut up, Donnie, please. I know what's best for us. And as you can see, like this is the face of something fearful, monstrous. And then we get to this page, and it's a splash page, and we see all these hands and broken glass from the upside, raining down, a lot of hands behind bars. These are my own hands, as you can see, but yeah, I tried to draw hands. I think it gets better with time, and as you can see, I love to paint with this beautiful, where is it? It's now empty, but I think some of it is a brush pen, and some of it is this Faber-Castell big brush pen, and just all these hands, all the parts Donald had to push away from himself so that he was acceptable, and pleading and saying, "Let me out." As you can see, a lot of hands, beautiful stuff. "I'm you, Donnie. I'm part of you." And this is like really creepy, like all of these hands touching this one that's outside of the cages. This hand is really good. Again, as you can see, my own hand. Use reference sometime. That's a good thing to use reference. And then he says, "Look, father, I found some nails." And like this Donnie is saying that, this monstrous Donnie. But you can see that we're kind of outside. He says, "Look, father, I found some nails." And then, "Please don't." And he's hulking over his sensible part, and shattered glass and blood and I don't know what else. "No, that's my boy, a real killer." And that's the point. And yeah, and I think we will split this in two parts, because like it then goes on. There's a team, there's like some pickup artists. I took what I had all from my fantasy. This is like the pickup artist issue 2. As you can see, like my drawings are not as good as they are now, but here I'm trying. This is stolen from Roadhouse and Escape from LA. And here in the background, "I've been looking so long for pictures of you," like this is The Cure. And yeah, just trying to put together a movie that was in my head, and to really try to be a good artist. As you can see here, the art is not great. This is my side view, and here they're talking, and I'm stealing a lot from other comics and perspectives. But yeah, I'm trying. I'm doing my best, and you try to do your best. And after that, I think it's always like the next one will get better, because there is like you can't fix like the now, probably. You just have to accept where you are. It's like when I was painting this tiger tank for Bold Action. I'm kind of happy with it, but it took me a while to get it like down the way I wanted. And sometimes you change something. I was painting all the tracks pretty rusty, and then it soaked up the color contrast. Or I did here rust it up, and then I splattered it, and I lost the camouflage pattern. And so same thing in life and in comics. Sometimes it's a back and forth. Sometimes you achieve something, then you discover something new, and then something old gets covered up. And it's, yeah. And at a certain point, you will have that right mix between doing and not doing. And I think that comes with experience. So I hope you had some fun. And we will see what I will use for the thumbnail. I hope a lot of people will watch this. Here is Elliot Hulse. So this is kind of like a superhero comic with my superheroes and my superheroes back in the days, where the people who helped me, my X-Men, and that were people on the internet. Yeah, pretty strange, but that's life. And we see us again. See ya.